Hi everybody, just do a short video on some high quality records. This is specifically and affectionately dedicated to Mike Tomlin, who some of you will know from his commenting. You won't know him from visuals because he does not appear, but I think everyone who's had a comment from him will remember. No one quite speaks as he does, or writes as he does. Okay, these I'm sure would be right up his street. Okay, the first record I'm showing is Stephen Halpern and Dallas Smith's Threshold. This is electronic in the main. There's Fender Rhodes on here. What else we got? Flute, bamboo flute and stuff. It would not be out of place on ECM. It's a really wonderful record. Chris at John Coltrane 68, he showed it, and he, I always investigate what people show in case I'm going to like it. Some Grammar Vision. Yeah, fantastic record actually. It's just every time I kind of sampled it a number of times, and there was something about it that kept drawing me back. It was, he said in his video, it's the sort of thing that people would overlook. It's a cheap record in America, but just a fantastic thing. 1984. It just has a really good feel to it. There's a flow to all of the tracks. The thing with a lot of kind of instrumental electronic kind of music is it sort of comes and goes, and you can put it on and enjoy it at the time, but they don't necessarily remain memorable. You know the album's good and you've played it before and you think, I'll play that album again, and it creates an atmosphere, but it's not. There's something about electronic stuff. It doesn't matter how witty or verbose the titles are, the pieces kind of come and go. And in a way, these pieces sort of just come and go. But there's a fluidity and there's integrity to the music. There's just something which lifts it above other electronic albums for me. It just has a really kind of... it's not Eno-esque. It's really hard to pinpoint, but it just has a feel. You put it on from start to finish, and it just... the quality of production, the tunes themselves, they're engaging, They catch the ear and they keep you all the way through. Not every electronic album does that. There's shorter pieces. The longest is 7 minutes. There's 3 around at 6 minutes, but there's 3 or 4 which is just 3 minutes long, less than 3 minutes. It's a lovely, lovely record, and I highly recommend you seek that out. Just give it a listen. There then. This is Moby's Ambient, as we can all see. Not an easy thing to find on vinyl. 1993. Now, every time I think of Moby, I imagine and remember his big hit, album Play and stuff. This is an absolutely fantastic electronic record. It is fantastic. If Eno or Cluster or someone had done this album, it would be seen as a fantastically great record. It is superb. It's almost all instrumental. There's a tiny bit just background vocal, just a line maybe in 1 or 2 songs you can hardly hear. And it's stronger because of it. There are pieces on here that are quite avant-garde, a couple of short pieces that really take you by surprise. There's a couple of really lovely piano pieces. But this is a superb ambient record. There's not a bad piece on here. I think the first track, to my ear, is probably the weakest. And it just gets better and better. Obviously the CD, you can pick it up for like pennies, I really recommend you checking this out. People like Alex at Motorwork 247, check this album out. and calm. You probably already know this anyway, but stunning electronic record from start to finish. A lot of kind of different sounds on it. Brilliant stuff. I just highly recommend listening to this. And again, it's one of those all the way through. The quality is so good. The quality is really high on this album. Lovely. Right, it's slightly left field because we're going over right around the houses here. This is Bobby Bland, 1963 record. Call on Me, that's the way love is. They obviously couldn't decide on which song to use as the title, so let's use both. And it's not something you see every day. I think it's easy to find in America. On Vocalion. What a fantastic voice this guy has. I mean, he's one of those that nowadays he's probably kind of lost somewhat in the annals of time, you know. Music history, you see his name mentioned from time to time perhaps. But he's perhaps one of today's forgotten men, and apart from the Northern Soul crew and people. Wonderful stuff. The production on here is just second to none. The quality of the songs, all brilliant. Just a lovely voice. The quality of this is just way, it just surpasses so many other records recorded since. And there's so many records from that time by great names and lesser names, although he's a great name, which just have something which rises above and is almost timeless. You know, it's just influential in the Motown scene, etc., and the soul kind of what was to come in soul music. This is just a lovely record. That's up-tempo thing, and you know, slight ballads, you know, but not really, because of the kind of muscularity of the music, which you'd get with Motown stuff as well. You know, real muscularity and power to the sound. This is great record. I'm not spending long here. Okay. If this was stereo, it would be about 400 quid's worth. The mono is equally, or perhaps, you know, as difficult to find. But it, you know, monetary wise, it goes for about 20 quid. This is Berg, Concerto for Violin and Orchestra. It's his last piece. This is our HMV, EMI HMV. The last piece he wrote, dying at the age of 50. He wrote it for the daughter of a friend, in fact Mahler's widow, and her child died at the age of 18. She had paralysis. She was going to be an actress, apparently a very beautiful young lady, and it moved him so much that he wrote this piece for her. Now there's sort of he as Schoenberg and the others, he used the 12-note method. He has more of a romantic flavour to his music, Berg does, in the main. And I think it really, this sings to the soul, if you like, as a slow, fast, and fast-slow movement, two movements. Just what he manages to do, he takes the solo violin and uses it as the young lady, and her voice, if you like, and you know, there's the kind of optimism and the love of beginning life and all of the kind of hope and joy that's going to come, and he ends inevitably with a lament, based upon, it says here, Bach's cantata Es ist genug or something. wonderful piece of music, because I think the problem is, you know, you can listen to a piece of music and it can move you and challenge you and take you places. You know, the thing is, when you know something of a background, maybe it adds to it, and maybe it gives you more of a melancholy, and it gives you more of a connection to it because you know something about it, rather than just absorbing the music and being moved in the same way. Knowing the story of this, and also that he died shortly after completing it, you know, it brings something else to it. And in our modern sensibilities, we always add to stuff. You know, we flesh things out. We kind of have to colour things in and join the dots and make things more than they are. But obviously, in this case, although it's not mentioned in the title, it is just called Concerto for Violin and Orchestra. You know, in this case, that's what moved the man. That's what got him to write this piece. You know, ideally, he would have made it as some sort of dedication to her. But yeah, anyway, it's a lovely piece, an unusual and rare record. Highly recommended listening. And the other side has the Chamber Concerto, which is one of his first pieces before he really adopted the 12-tone method, 12-note method. And yeah, that itself is brilliant as well. There's a real kind of a flourish of romanticism to it, but also grounded in a kind of intellectual curiosity, if you like. And the way he builds for music is marvellous. Highly recommended. Now then. Okay, I'm just going to show one more. I was going to show two. I listened to this the other day. This is an Ireland comp from '68. Put it on. It's Rocksteady. There we go. And there's some marvellous, marvellous stuff on here. I mean, just marvellous. You've got See Them A Come by Mr. Foundation, Zoot Sims. Won't You Come Home Baby, It's Raining by the Treetops, Somebody's Baby by Pat Kelly, Dance All Night by the Tartans, Savour Bread by Justin Hines, Rude Boy Gone Jail by the Clarendonians. This is just a fantastic record. Someone's coloured in the original eye there, eye label. It's just marvellous, marvellous sounding music. It's not something, I don't know, I've been listening to a lot more of it lately, all the Madam Sins videos. It's just, I think it's just a fantastic record. It's not easy to find this, but the best way really to buy these sorts of things is on compilations. Obviously they didn't really have a lot of artist albums as such at the time, and the best way to get them was comps, because many things were released on singles, even, you know, one artist on the A side and one artist on the B side, different one on the B side. What I want John the 6-inch pianist to do is to do a video detailing and playing bits of music which are rocksteady, ska, roots. You know, show us the difference here. Tell us what the differences are, because sometimes it's hard to tell. You know, this says rocksteady, so I'll take it, but that's what this is. I think I veer towards the rocksteady sound. It's just something. The melodies, I think there's partly the melodies in these. It's not. I avoid some of the stuff which is a little bit kind of crude and crass. There's some stuff in the ska world and the blue beat label. You think, oh god, dear, just crass. You know, just ugly lyrics. But these, no way. There's some lovely, lovely stuff on this. And finally, I showed this on Instagram about a year ago, but I'm showing it. Boom Boom, it's Basil Brush. Now then, people in America probably don't know him, or they might know a later version of him, which is nowhere near as good. This album is 1970, I want to say 77, of course, 77. There was an earlier one you can get, 1970, which is not as good as this one. Now then, you know, there's a few gags and a few, he introduces, you've got Basil here introducing the songs, because obviously it was a big TV show anyway in the UK for kids and adults. And he used to sort of occasionally do the odd song alongside little sketches and stuff. Fantastic. Some of the stuff on here is really funny, his little jokes. But what he's done here is chosen, there's some sort of folk songs, some nostalgic songs. We've got things like If It Wasn't for the Houses in Between, sung in a Cockney accent. The First Day at School. That's written by a folk artist who maybe did 2-3 records only on his really small, sort of low budget label. Lydiard, his name is, I forget his first name, Mike Lydiard. Lovely, you know, you think of the first day at school, that sums up everything about being at the first day at school. It's just, this is like a nostalgia. And maybe, you know, a nostalgia for a period I haven't lived in, some of this stuff. But there are classic English things on here, the cricket match. Why can't we have the sea in London? Now, and the singing is really excellent. And again, the production on this is superb. The instrumentation is superb. I think it's just a lovely record all the way through. Now, you're probably just looking at this and mocking the screen right now. You know, you've switched off as soon as you saw it. Go and check this album out, because it really is a wonderful record. I think the only slight weakness for me is the Mana, which is, you know, a bit of fun. And there's one song that's slightly, for me, slightly too long. It may be, it may be the houses in between, it may be a verse too long. That's just to my. But Pete was a lonely mongrel dog who lived in central Wigan, Lancashire. These are quality songs. They, you know, they were popular back in the day, and there's a reason why that kind of stuff was popular, because it kind of spoke to the nation, spoke to people. You know, in the 40s and 50s and times like that, not all of this was written then, of course. It's much later and contemporary, even 1977. But every house had a piano. You know, we had a piano in our front room. You know, way back, everyone had it. I've watched lots of old films of people going for factories, going for days out in London or days out by the seaside and stuff like that. And there's someone sitting on their boat, say they're going down the River Thames to their next destination, and someone's playing a piano and they're all singing along. All the families are joining in. They know all the words. And their song was something which brought people together, and which was far more kind of meaningful in a social and family context. And this is what this kind of has. You know, it just has something. Just something about it. I defy anyone to listen to this and not like it. Even Mike Tomlin. Alright, that's it for now, and enjoy your day, whatever you're doing, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.